What's going on, guys? Today I'll be simulating the 2023 NHL Free Agent Frenzy in NHL 23. As you guys can see on screen right there, the draft results are in. Winnipeg jumps from 9 to 1. Nashville from 10 to 2. So a couple crazy jumps there in the top two spots. Chicago actually finishes last. They dropped to 3. Montreal's got 2 top 10 picks there. I'll show you guys who won the Stanley Cup next. It's actually the Boston Bruins. And they beat the Edmonton Oilers. So that was actually my predicted Stanley Cup final. Happened in EA. Did not happen, of course, in real life. So we're going to get to the re-sign phase, guys. As you can see, they actually took control of the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, they just won the Stanley Cup, as well too, pretty much their entire team's under contract, and they're like right at the salary cap max. And now the reason I waited so long to make this video, guys, is because today was the last day for teams to buy out players, as well too is the last day, I think, to put in your qualifying offers. So ton of actually surprising buyouts. Killer Yamamoto, Detroit got for free. I was all excited. He looks like me. He's playing for my favorite team. Irishman goes and buys him out. Matt Duchene as well. Super surprised at being bought up by the Nashville Predators. I actually put out a tweet saying he's got like almost a point per game in the last 2 years. I don't know why they wouldn't retain 50% on him. Probably got a decent return, then instead buy out Ryan Johansson. But like really, there are 2 former captain of the Winnipeg Jets. He gets bought out. I think the rest of the guys were bought up before. As well, there was a ton of players that were like pretty decent that did not get qualifying offers. So during the year, I actually went and just made trades for all those guys, had them buried in the AHL. Now I'm gonna make sure that we release them all to free agency. So starting off here, you guys can see Puljujarvi, he gets let go. Phil Kessel's not going back to Vegas. We'll let him go as well. But you got a guy like Ethan Bear, Daniel Sprong, Travis Dermott, Caleb Jones, really surprised. You know, they broke up the brothers there in Chicago. Sam Steele, Tyson Jost, Dennis Gurianov as well with Montreal. Maxime Comtois with the Ducks was pretty surprising. Jesper Boqvist. Like, a lot of these guys you can see, like, in the mid-20s, haven't quite proven themselves yet in the NHL. And, I mean, I understand not getting a big contract. Really surprised teams just letting them go to free agency completely. Victor Mete, Nolan Patrick, he's one. He does get healthy. Hopefully he gets a chance somewhere. Christian Fish, Lindstrom too with Detroit. He did not get brought back. So very interesting to see. I think that's pretty much it there for like the non-qualified young guys. So like I said, I'll be releasing all of them to free agency. Of course, there'll be all the big names there. Patty Kane, Tarasenko, etc. And we'll see what happens. And I'm not sure you guys were actually getting to the free agency. I should mention too, I've gone through and updated all the player contracts. So like they're, you know, up to date with extensions, things like that. This should be as accurate as a free agent sim as we can make. Tarasenko and Kane both there, both asking for about 8. Pacioretty's there. Kaloran was actually linked to Detroit a bit. Tyler Bertuzzi does not re-sign with Boston, even though they traded away Taylor Hall. But it looks like they did re-sign Bergeron, so that's good to see. Often he goes to free agency, which I don't think is ever going to happen. He's either staying in Boston or retiring. John Klingberg, Gostisbehere that we know is going to free agency. Shattenkirk. I feel like a lot of these asks too are relatively fair. Orlov, Dumoulin should sort this by overall. I'm not exactly sure what it was sorted by there. Blake Wheeler in free agency, only asking for 4.2. With the buyout, he probably ends up making about the same. Jonathan Tate is there, looking for a new team. Imagine him and Kane actually signed together somewhere. That'd be pretty cool. Pius Suter, 84 overall. He's been up in rating there, asking for over $5 million. It's kind of crazy. David Krejci, though, does not return to Boston. At least we got, you know, the captain back. Let's see, Evan Rodriguez, Tanner Jeannot. Is he an RFA? He is. Michael Bunting, 83 overall, wants 4.4. Jason Zucker, Matt Dumba, JVR. Ekman Larson was making 8.2. Now he's asking for 2.6, so about a quarter. Pretty, you know, stark difference there. Radko Gudas wants 5. I'm not sure what he's going to get in real life, obviously. Really heavy hitter. I feel like it's the type of defenseman a lot of teams want. I'm not sure if they're willing to go pay him over $5 million for that, but we'll see. JT Comfort there, under 2. He's definitely going to get more than that. Kessel, 2.5 will definitely get less, but you got Ethan Bear there. Puljujarvi, I'm again very surprised Carolina did not give an offer sheet to. I don't think I saw Matt Duchene at the top, so that must mean Nashville re-signed him, because I made it basically if anyone got bought out, I changed their contract to have 1 year left, so the team can either re-sign them or let them go to free agency. Luke Shen, you can see, is there. So it's good to see most of these guys did go to free agency. Obviously, we'll sim through, see where they signed. In terms of the goaltenders, Freddie Henderson wants 8.6. Varlamov there, almost 4. Tristan Jarry wants about 5. Pittsburgh could, I think, afford to do that. Corby Salo there, 4.5. Gustafson should be an RFA there with Minnesota. You got James Reimer, Cam Talbot, Jonathan Quick. Real life looks to be signed as New York Rangers backup, which obviously he still could do. You got Bernier there, Jones, Elliott, Craig Anderson, Iljovic, Halak, Brossois. So like I was saying, guys, just going to sim through the summer next year. Excited to see where everyone ends up. All right, guys, around the fall, going to show you where everybody signed. With Vegas, just kept the team together. You know, didn't go and make any changes. First team here, Washington Capitals. Dmitry Kulikov looks to have been signed on defense. I think other than that, you got Travis Hamonic as well. Washington there is pretty quiet. Wow, okay. So the big name in free agency, Patrick Kane, goes to the Winnipeg Jets. Are you kidding me? There's a chance Jonathan Tate's go to Winnipeg because he's from there. Go back to the hometown team. He's already won 3 Stanley Cups. Patty Kane, I think, almost 0% chance to go to Winnipeg, but very interesting. Buy out Wheeler, trade away Dubois, then you sign Patty Kane. That would be an interesting move for sure. They also signed Evan Rodriguez there, $3.5 million. That's not terrible. JVR just under $4 million. How long are those contracts? Okay, 2 for JVR. Rodriguez there at 3. Kupari gets signed to 1.3. How much did Velarde get? 2.2. Not bad. Adam Fantilli, they drafted 2nd overall. Sam Steele, they signed too. So Winnipeg actually quite active. Anaheim Ducks here. Dmitry Orlov, almost $6 million. His contract here, 3 years. Let's see, anything else? Cal Foote. I was actually really surprised he didn't get a qualifying offer. I feel like he'll eventually be an NHL defenseman. Ducks get him there. 2 years, just under $2 million. Caleb Fleury there also signs with them. Brock McGinn already on the team. Anybody else? Gustav Lindstrom. Looks like a cheap deal, 2 years, 1.2. So Troy Stetcher as well joins the Ducks. So I feel like they're pretty smart there with their money, adding a defense as well, which they really needed. Arizona Coyotes, of course, had a ton of money. Sean Durzi gets a 1-year, basically $2 million contract. John Klingberg, wow, 7.4. 5 years for Klingberg, basically replace Gostisbehere. That's an interesting one. I think if anything, maybe they'd sign him to 1 and then flip him at the deadline, 50% to a contender. Let's see here. Michelli gets 2.5. Really not that much money. Puljujarvi there goes to the Coyotes. I wouldn't honestly be surprised if he did something like that, get more ice time. 3 years there, 2.5. Let's see, Ian Cole, 1 year, 2.6. Phil Kessel rejoins the Coyotes. I mean, if he's going to get playing time, can keep that iron streak going, that's a possibility. Nola Chari also with the Coyotes there, 2.2 million. Anybody else? I think that's about it, but still, like, they're pretty active. Boston Bruins, as we mentioned, Patrice Bergeron returns at 7.6 million, so no longer the team-friendly 2.5. If he does return, he's definitely taking a discount. Heponiemi actually joining their team, 1.8 million for 2 years. It's not a bad depth signing. Nolan Patrick too. If he could get healthy, get a spot as like Boston's 3C, that could be sick. Darren Helm doesn't retire. Actually signs a 1-year deal there with the Bruins. Regula as well. They re-signed after, of course, the Taylor Hall trade. Buffalo Sabres. The top players there are all the same. Nothing crazy. Jordan Greenway gets a lot of money, $3 million. Let's see. Anything else? Olofsson stays with the team. Real life, almost surely going to free agency. Oscar Sundqvist there, $2 million for the next 2 years. Kale Clegg also stays. Real life, they didn't give him a qualifying offer, so he'll be heading to free agency. Calgary Flames up next here. Top guys are all still there. They get Michael Bunting, $4.5 million on a 4-year deal. Probably a little less than they get in real life. They're saying more like 5 to 6, which does seem expensive. I think honestly that's more of a fair deal for him. Other than that, they get Noah Cates actually. Carolina Hurricanes up next. Tarasenko. I mean, they have the cap space. Comes in for Pacioretty. I could see that happening. Tarasenko seems like the kind of Hurricanes contract. 4 years, 9.2. I feel like it'd probably be more like a 2 years, 8.5. But I'll have to wait and see. After that, do they make any other noise? Zach Parise goes to Carolina, 2 years, $2 million. Riley Sheehan, 1-year deal. Obviously, Freddie Anderson went to free agency. I'll show you guys all the goalies afterwards. Shane Gostisbehere there with the Chicago Blackhawks, 6.66 for 3 years. All right, that's not a bad deal. I feel like, again, they're doing more like 1 years. Corey Perry got the 1 year, $4 million. Same with Foligno. Basically, just overpaying these guys to play for them on a crap team, plus help to hit the salary cap minimum. They actually signed Josh Bailey. Okay. $2 million for 3 years. That's interesting. Justin Hull as well. Signs with the Blackhawks. 2.3 for 2. I know there's a chance he could stay with the Leafs. Alex Kerfoot joins them. Interesting. 3 years there, just under $2 million as well. Tyson Jost, you got a 1.66 for 2. Miles Wood, 1.4 for 3. So Blackhawks were, quite busy. Again, there's the Foligno contract. Now next up, we got the Colorado Avalanche. In game, Landeskog is playing. They have his salary, so they can't be, as aggressive. There's really no way to do that when a guy's only been out for 1 year, not out for the rest of his career. Of course, you got Johansson there. Eric Johnson does come back, $2.1 million for 2 years. I think someone said real life he will not be returning. Teddy Bluger signed. Anderson Dolan they get, pretty cheap deal, $1 million for the next 2 years. That seems like a good Avs contract. Anything else here? Not really. After the Avs, we got the Blue Jackets, of course, pretty busy with the Provorov and Severson trades. Let's see. So far, no new players on the team. Yeah, Jarechek makes the team. Other than that, it doesn't look like they actually do much. So they kind of stay the course there. Dallas Stars up next. Big name that they signed, David Krejci. So $3.6 million there again. Real life, he's either going back to the Bruins or retiring almost surely. Let's see. Dadonov, of course, already re-signed. Max Domi they actually keep. Does not go to free agency. Very good deal. 2.5 for 2. I think in real life he's going to get more like, $4 million range. Connor Sherry signs with the Dallas Stars there. Thomas Tatar as well. $900K on a 1 year for Tatar. Very good two-way forward. Not a bad deal. My Detroit Red Wings, what do we do? So we actually keep Yamamoto. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I actually messed this one up. I meant to trade for Yamamoto, that way he'd go to free agency, but I see he actually grew to an 85 playing with Detroit, so that's why I got the big payday there, 4.66 million, which is pretty funny. Like, he got this contract at 4 years. In real life, he was making 3 and gets bought out. Again, I think he starts out the year at like an 81, maybe 82, but must have played the top 6 of the Red Wings, grew a ton. They signed Kevin Shattenkirk there as well, 1 year, 5.7. Brian Dumoulin, too, making almost $5 million for the next 3 years, so beef up the defense, and that looks to be pretty much the only moves they made. Next year, we got the Edmonton Oilers, obviously, a bit more cap space now. With a Yamamoto trade, Evan Bouchard contract, a lot of people talking about what that's going to be in-game, just under 5 for 4 years. I feel like Oilers fans would be pretty happy with that. Ross Colton, what the heck? He was an RFA, so I guess the Avs either let him go or they accepted a qualifying offer, as I actually had trades turned off. That way, like, the rosters would be what they are right now. And when they wouldn't get too mixed up, we could actually just see where the free agents signed. So that one, quite interesting. Luke Shen there signed with the Oilers, $2.5 million for the next 3 years. Patrick Hornqvist as well, 1 year, $1 million deal. I mean, I guess he'd be okay on the 4th line. Florida Panthers up next here. Let's see. Alex Killorn stays in Florida. 5.5 for 3 years. Interesting. Scott Mayfield there. He gets 3.4 for 3 years, so not bad. Paul Byron, they get a speedster, paying him $2.2 million for the next 2 years. All right. Sam Gagner joins their team too. Julian Gauthier. Interesting moves by them. Sokolov as well, of course, was on the Senators. LA Kings up next here, so you guys can see the Dubois extension. It's a little under 8.5. I'm going to have to go through and tweak things now to make sure every single team's cap compliant and their contracts stay the same. Gavrikov, of course, already in there. Did they do anything? It doesn't look like it. They must be up against the cap. They get Derek Brassard, 1 year, $1 million. Minnesota Wild here. They get this Berg dude, made-up player, 84 overall, medium elite, going 5th overall. I still don't understand why there's made-up players in the first-year draft. Like, it is so unnecessary. Yeah, I really don't see. They get Kurashev, who I guess the Blackhawks didn't re-sign, 79 overall there. Aside from that, does not look like they were too busy. Alex Texier as well, 24.79. Montreal Canadiens here, guys. Alex Newhook gets a 1 year, 4.3. I don't see him getting paid that much in real life. Let's see. They get Radko Gudas. Interesting. He goes to Montreal. $5 million for 4 years. I see him going to more of a contender. They also signed Caleb Jones there. He signed for 2.5 for 3 years. Nashville here. Look at that. Matt Duchene signs for basically the exact same amount of money he was making in real life this year. I think he had 3 years left on his $8 million deal. They signed him for $7.8 million for 3 more years. So he gets an identical contract. That's pretty funny. Again, I really didn't understand the buyout. Like, last year he still had 50-plus points. I'm surprised. I know he had a no-trade clause coming up, but I don't know how you don't get value on him. 50% somewhere. Nashville's actually really busy. They get Max Pacioretty here as well. 6.4 for 2. Tyler Bertuzzi, probably going to re-sign with Boston, but he goes to Nashville here. Almost $7 million for 3 years. We'll see. Of course, they got Connor Bedard first overall. I guess when you get Bedard, it changes things. You immediately, speed up this retool, rebuild, whatever it is they're doing. Dan Heinen there, $2 million. Andreas Johnsson there, 2.6. They get anybody else here? Doesn't really look like it, but still, Predators there, definitely making a splash. The Devils up next. Obviously, extensions to both Bratt and Meyer already done. They actually go out and get Blake Wheeler. Wow. Okay, $4.3 million for the next 2 years. They're top 9 now. I mean, probably Wheeler, Palat, and like Hal on the 3rd line. I mentioned my trade sim with Toffoli. Their top 6 is already so stacked. Connor Clifton as well, signs there. I'm surprised too to see Ryan Graves extended 4.4 for 4 years. I didn't think they'd have the cap space to do that, especially with like, Nemec and Hughes coming up. I didn't even think maybe they'd have the roster spot. McLeod stays there as well. Just for Fat signed with them, 1 year, $1 million. New York Islanders here. We'll see. I feel like they didn't really have a ton of money to spend. They do keep Pierre Engvall though, $4.4 million. He could have went to free agency for 5 years. He got paid quite a bit. He must have had like a good season with them in that first year sim. Jonathan Toews goes to the Islanders. Wow, $3.8 million for 1 year. Alex Edler joins their team too. Rangers here. Maxime Comtois, 1 year, 1.5. He's actually up to an 84 overall. Wow, okay. After that, Paul Stastny gets a 2-year deal here, $1.7 million. Not bad. Lars Eller as well, so they're just filling out that bottom 6. They keep Hayek, who in real life, of course, did not get a qualifying offer. Other than that, though, pretty quiet for the Rangers. Ottawa Senators here. So Alex DeBrincat gets paid $8.6. In real life, he doesn't want to resign with the Ottawa Senators. There's really no way to make that happen in game, though. So we'll see, how close his contract ends up being to that. We'll see to add anybody else here. Not really. I mean, they are pretty quiet. And they have, like, no cap space either. Philadelphia Flyers, real life, they're rebuilding. In game, I mean, D'Angelo's still there. Sanheim, both are trying to trade. Even connecting potentially. Let's see. They actually added nobody. $7 million in cap space. They get Ethan Bear there. $3 million the next 2 years. Gustav Nyquist. Daniel Sprong, I think that could be a really good signing for somebody. His 5v5 numbers are crazy. Connor Brown as well, pretty cheap, 1.6 million. Cutter Gauthier is making the jump. They also get Gurianov. So, I mean, they're signing some guys. Garnet Hathaway there, Derek Stepan. Pittsburgh Penguins up next. So far, nobody new. Suter, they actually go and get. Again, there's no way he's getting 5.4 million. He did not play well enough in real life to get that in-game. I guess he did. Carson Soucy there, 81 overall, making 2.4. All right, Andrew Cogliano joins the Penguins. Here, guys, we have the San Jose Sharks. So they should be not signing too many guys. They get Jason Zucker there, $3 million for the next 2 years. Fabian Zetterlund here, they actually pay quite a bit, 2.7 million, 2 more years as well. After that, they signed AJ Greer here, who was on Boston. Anton Strawman gets a contract. Svechnikov gets almost 3 million. What the heck? Seattle Kraken. I feel like they'll have some money, but no top players signed by them. They keep Tolvanen though, 1.5. Shane Wright's making the jump to NHL. Travis Dermott, 2.3. Eric Gustin, 2.4. So they do have a couple defensemen. Jesper Boqvist there at 1.3. St. Louis Blues are up next. They, of course, traded for Hayes and Verana. They signed JT Comfort, $2 million. Very good contract. They also get Ekman Larson there, 2.5 for the next 3 years. I feel like at $2 million is not too bad. They also get Nick Bukestad there, 2 years, 1.3 million. Tyler Mott. Tampa Bay Lightning here have pretty much no money, so I can't see them doing too many moves. And Dylan Coghlan, I think, is one, though, 1.1 million. Adam Ernie as well returns to Tampa Bay. And that looks to be pretty much it for them. Ryan Murray as well. Depth signing. Toronto Maple Leafs here. They keep Ryan O'Reilly, $8.5 million. Wow, for 3 years. I didn't even think they had cap space for that. Nylander as well got an extension, $9 million. They're talking about him getting $9 million in real life, so that's pretty accurate. Matthews, though, not extended yet. Obviously, I feel like all year they're going to be talking about whether or not he will resign. Mitch Marner there randomly jumped to high franchise potential. I don't know how he pulled off that one. Ty Voigt here grew a ton, now 79 overall, making the jump to NHL. Vancouver Canucks here, so let's see. They lost a lot of defensemen. Who do they sign? Alexander Carrier. Interesting. Nashville lets him go, $2.8 million. Matt Dumba as well, 4.7. For the next 5 years, I could definitely see Dumba potentially going to Vancouver. Let's see, Nick Holden they get 1.7. I feel like Vancouver honestly probably improves on defense. And of course, guys, that was it for the skaters. Quickly have a look at the goalies just to see if any big changes happen. Connor Hellebuyck, of course, still with the Winnipeg Jets. Jonathan Quick actually signs with the Anaheim Ducks, so he wants revenge on LA, playing for their rival. Interesting. Reimer there, back up in Arizona. Not Connor Ingram, who is signed. Swayman stays in Boston, $5.5 million. 289 overall goalies. Are you kidding me? Buffalo here signs Corby Salo to be their starter. $4.5 million for the next 5 years. That's a big-time contract. Flames, no change. Carolina keeps Anderson. Wow, so we actually went to free agency. We saw him there. And they're the team that pays them $8.3 million for 4 more years. That's a lot of money for Anderson. Kochkov as well up to an 86, I saw. Chicago there did nothing. Avalanche does nothing. Columbus stays the course. Same with Dallas. Detroit gets Cam Talbot to be our backup. 2.5 for 83 overall. It's a little bit of money, but we probably could use an upgrade in backup. Edmonton there keeps Skinner, Campbell, no buyouts. Florida there, Knight and Bobrovsky still. LA here actually signs Tristan Jarry to be the starter. $5 million for the next 3 years. Copley there's the backup. Minnesota still running Fleury, Gustafsson. Gustafsson here got 4.5 for 2 years, basically a bridge deal. Montreal still running Allen Montembeault. Nashville no change. Devils no change. Islanders get Joey Daccord from Seattle's AHL team to be their backup. Rangers got Louis Dominguez their backup, not Quick. You then have Forsberg and Saugard on Ottawa. Honestly, that's probably not too bad. Forsberg looked pretty good. Saugard, I think, is going to end up being an NHL goalie. He's just so big at 6'7". Philly keeps Hart and Peterson there. Pittsburgh's running to Smith and Chalgren. I don't know about that. Sharks here signed Varlamov, 1 year, $4 million. And then Gaudreau there jumps a ton in rating, now an 83, backing him up. Seattle there signed Antti Ranta with Grubauer backing him up. Don't they still have Drager? Yeah, he's in the AHL. I really don't think they need Ranta. St. Louis, Binnington, Dostal they somehow got. Tampa Bay still has Vasilevsky and Elliott. Toronto still running Samsonov and Murray. Vancouver, no change. And of course, Vegas, no change. So that is it, guys, for the NHL 23 Simulated Free Agent Frenzy. Obviously, in 24 hours, we'll know what's happening for real, but it would be really cool if any of the things that happen in-game actually happen in real life. That's going to do, though, guys, for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.